Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Garak here, coming at you guys with another episode of Final Fantasy XIV's Endwalker Job Review Series. Here we are, episode 5. We are at the long-awaited, because it took me forever to do this, job review of none other than Endwalker's new king or queen, depending on if you play male or female, of Edge. Move over, Dark Knights. There's a new Edge Lord in town. Nevertheless, we're talking about the Reaper, the angry botanist with an oversized scythe. So this review, kind of like the last two, is going to be a little bit different than your normal job review that I've done in the past with Warrior and Monk, mostly because of the fact that Reaper is brand spanking new. There is nothing to compare it to. I cannot say, back in Aroma Reborn, Reapers were, or, back in Shadowbringers, Reapers were. No, you wanna know what Reapers were? They were botanists. They were botanists that got angry and decided to do something about it. That's basically what they are. They literally sold their souls to a void scent for power. And this is what we got. So we're going to structure it a little bit differently. I'm still going to give my honest opinion right up front and center. I'll go over like fashion, animations, how that is, how the rotation and just the move set feels. We'll go over the key abilities, and then how it compares to, well, the only thing I can compare it to right now, which is Monk. So let's begin. So my overall thought process on Reaper is good. It is definitely a blast to play. I did have a lot of fun both leveling it and playing it at max level. I did some dungeons, did a couple of the end trials. For spoiler reasons, I won't name who they are, but y'all know who I'm talking about. And did some of the normal overlay switch to standby mode. Nice. We did some of the normal raids as well. And I got a good feel for the opener and the primary rotation, and it's fun. I will say it takes a little bit to build up, but once you get to that build up and you do your first burst phase, and then from there on out, it's pretty smooth. So that's kind of my overall review about it. It's definitely pretty good. Fashion wise, armor wise, they use maiming gear, so dragoons now have to share their maiming gear with someone finally. Fashion for Reapers, I mean, it's what you'd expect. It's pretty edgy. I mean, look at my current glamour. It's mostly job gear, just with a Crippler's helmet, because it's like one of the only helmets I actually like in the game. So yeah, definitely really cool. I definitely enjoy the scythe as well. It's definitely got a very Bloodborne feel to it, so I'm definitely digging it. Fashion wise, pretty good. Animation wise, the animations of their skills is like a couple of AoE abilities here. If we want to do our basic 1, 2, 3, I mean, just that alone is, I mean, flashy as all hell. They definitely went above and beyond for the style with this job. How it stacks up versus, really Monk, which is what I can compare it to, I guess. Again, they both feel very smooth. I feel like Monk is faster paced and feels a lot smoother, but I do feel like Reaper has its place. Reaper is definitely, like, being the new kid on the block, is very heavily overtuned. They are, it's hard not to be number 1 or 2 on the DPS meters. Like, even if you flub up your rotation, you can still do really good damage really easily with Reaper. It's very overtuned, very flashy, and just very, like, bursty. If we want to go over the skills here, moving on. So obviously we start at level 80, so anything below that is just like you automatically have. But basically you got your 1, 2, 3 combo, which I just demonstrated, slice, waxing slice, and whatever this one is, infernal slice. Shadow of Death. Shadow of Death is kind of our, I don't want to call it our Storm's Eye buff, but it's like you're gonna walk up and bam, You can see you get you put this debuff on the enemy, just increases damage. It's basically the same idea of Storm's Eye, or what Storm's Eye used to be, if we're going to compare it to Storm's Eye, where like every other rotation or every 2 rotations, you're basically going to refresh it to keep that debuff on the enemy, just let it take more damage. That's basically what it is. You got your AoE combo. It's a 2-hitter, Spinning Scythe, Nightmare Scythe. You can do that stuff. That's your core 1, 2, 3, and your core AoE. You also have an AoE debuff here with this. Bam. It does the same thing as Shadow of Death. It's just for AoE. So you got all the goodies there. Reaper has some mobility. Hell's Ingress, whoop, launches you forward. Regress is an advanced skill. You leave a little portal there, you can just jump back. Alternatively, there's Hell's Egress, which is the same thing. It just launches you backwards, and then you get another portal which you can launch forward to with as well. Harp, it's your ranged ability. It's got a cast timer, so you don't really use it. You usually open up with that bad baby, and then if you happen to jump forward or back, you get a buff that allows you to cast it instantaneously. So maybe you do that depending on mechanics, but yeah, nothing too crazy there. You got some defensives here with Arcane Crest, and yeah, just about everything else is damage. Now, this isn't a Reaper guide, so I'm not going to go too in depth, but I will say what's very unique about Reaper is your 1, 2, 3 combo is usually like the last thing you're going to do. So you can see here we got a meter, and we got a little picture down here. So this picture activates when you activate this baby, your level 80 ability, Enshroud, and I'll go over that in a minute. But basically, you're going to want to get to 50 red bar, and you're going to gain access to one of these 3 abilities here. So you got Bloodstock, which is just a single target, smack the dude, and it gives you a little bit of blue bar. Grim Swath, which is same thing, it's just AoE, frontal cone AoE. And then you got Gluttony, which is kind of like, it's got a longer cooldown, so you're not going to be able to do it every single time you get 50 juice, but you're going to do it. Boom. It does a lot of damage to one target, and then will hit other targets around. And then you get a little buff here. You get some Soul Reaver stacks, which gives you access to one of these 3 abilities, Gibbet, Gallows, or Guillotine. Guillotine's frontal cone AoE. These 2 are AoE, it doesn't matter which one you do. This one is flank, this one is rear, so you're gonna boom, and then you're gonna want to go behind. Got bam, and then it just enhances the next one depending on which one you started to use. So every time you get 50 on a single target, you're gonna use one of these, and every time you use a blue, you get a little bit of blue juice. Now, the reason why the 1, 2, 3 combo is like the last thing you're gonna do is because you have these 2 abilities here. Obviously, one for AoE, which is Soul Scythe, and one for single target, which is Soul Slice. So you're gonna run up, boom, smack a dude, instant 50. So you can run up, you're gonna hit your single target. Okay, you can see this is glowy, so we'll give it. Boom. You're gonna hit it again. Boom. Gluttony's back up, so we'll hit it. Boom. We'll go to the next one in line. Next one in line. Okay. Now it's at this point that Reaper gets good. I'm going to tell you why. Because now we have 50 blue juice. And 50 blue juice gives us Enshroud. Now, when you activate Enshroud, before I activate it and waste all the time, your Unveiled Gallows, or, you know, whatever it used to be called beforehand, Bloodstock / Unveiled Gallows, and your Grim Swath become different abilities. And, oh wait, no, is it those? No, I'm wrong. I lied. I apologize. It's not Bloodstock and Grim Swath. It's these. It's Gibbet, Gallows, and Guillotine. It's your blue juice, guys. I'm sorry. I fucked that up. Oops. Maybe I'll edit that part out. I don't know. Or maybe I'll leave it in because I admit my mistakes. So your blue juices are going to get enhanced. So they're going to turn into these bad babies here. Alright. Void Reaping, Cross Reaping, Grim Reaping. This one's AoE. These 2 a single target. You're going to alternate between these 2. There's no positionals on them, so don't worry about it. You're going to get Lemur's Slice, which are 86. That's like an in-between. So you're going to notice you get 5 little orbs next to this little Reaver guy here when you pop your Shroud. So these consume 1. And then every time you do two of these are like one of these and one of these. Every time you use 2 red orbs, you get a blue orb or something like that afterwards, which allows you to use this. So it's going to go like 1, 2, slice, 1, 2, slice. There you go. And then you top it off your very last shot because you get 5 abilities. Use 4, weaving in 2 of these, and then you get Communio, your level 90 skill, which is just a giant big fuck you ability that just hits for a ton of bricks. That's pretty much, that's your burst phase. It sounds like a lot, but I'm going to demo it for you, and then I'll turn around, I'll demo the whole rotation for you and just show you guys how it is. In addition to that, we have this ability here, Arcane Circle, which is our party buff, which increases damage for yourself and all your party members. And when you do, you can see here, Circle of Sacrifice. Anytime you or a party member under this effect lands a weapon skill or casts a spell, Reaper who applied it may be granted a stack of Immortal Sacrifice up to a maximum of 8 stacks. That ties in with this ability, Plentiful Harvest. Okay, so when you get, your stacks from here, you'll get a Immortal Sacrifice stack, which allows you to use Plentiful Harvest. And when you use it, it's a giant frontal, just totally annihilate everything in front of your path, and it instantly gives you 50 blue juice. So let's pop Shroud and just show you guys what you got. So obviously, like, you look absolutely awesome, first of all. And then you're gonna go meh. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, finish off. Boom. That's pretty wild, isn't it? That's some pretty good stuff right there. So you can see, like, when it all flows, it hits hard, and it's gonna feel really like fast and bursty. Since I don't have much content other than my overall thoughts and comparisons, let me just demo this for you real quick. This isn't going to be perfect. I'm still an amateur reaver, so don't judge me. But just to give you guys a feel of what to expect with it, it's going to look something like, you can get the countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. At 2, you're going to open up with Harp. Boom. Bam. And go boom. Gluttony. Do your positionals. Boom. You're going to hit this. Do single target. Positional. You're gonna have to do a 1, 2, 3 combo. It's just the nature of the beast. Refresh that. You're gonna do another 1, 2, 3. Or at least a 1, 2. You're gonna do single target. You're gonna do this. You're gonna hit that. Pop your Shroud. 1, 2, 1, 1. 2, 1. You're gonna go boom, hit this. You're gonna have another OGCD. Boom, boom, Shroud. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Boom. I mean, it feels good. It looks good. And that wasn't even perfect. That was nowhere near a perfect roll. Like, I should have blown this sooner, but since I'm not in a party, it was kind of like, eh. But it still should have blown that sooner. Like, it's just wild. It's basically, you're only going to do your 1, 2, 3 combo when these two skill, or when this skill is on cooldown. And then you're going to keep Gluttony rolling. Every time it's up, you're going to use it. You're going to keep alternating between your blue boys here. And then you're just going to keep using a Veil Gallows and filling up your blue bar. And every time you get 50, you're going to blow Shroud. You're going to blow this on cooldown. You're going to use this every time it's up. You just keep blowing Shroud. You want to be in Shroud as much as possible. So that's Reaper in a nutshell. That's like basic bare bones Reaper. It feels good. It's definitely fun. It was definitely fun to play. I'm going to close this up real quick and just say, like, how does it compare to Monk? Would I flip from Monk to Reaper? No. I think I still enjoy Monk a lot more. But if someone were to say, like, hey man, will you come run this EX or this Savage raid with us? You know, we see you have Reaper leveled, we want a Reaper. can you bring your Reaper? I would say yes. I wouldn't be like, no, I want to run a Monk instead. I'd go as Reaper. I'd be happy to play as Reaper because Reaper is definitely fun. I would say where Monk, like Warrior for me was 10 out of 10. Monk, I believe I rate like I can't remember if I ranked Monk 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, but if it wasn't 9 out of 10, Monk is definitely 10 out of 10. I would rank Reaper 9 out of 10. It definitely lives up to the hype. It is super powerful. It's just, it gets a little, for me, it gets a little janky at times. And the maintenance buff with Shadow of Death is kind of, it's easy to kind of forget about it sometimes. For me, sometimes I forget about it, and that of course ends up in a DPS loss. But other than that, man, I would say it's definitely worth leveling Reaper up for sure. So that's going to be it, guys. I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed my opinion on Reaper. If you have any thoughts, comments, or opinions of your own, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I am currently working on leveling the remaining 3 tanks. I'm starting with Paladin, so hopefully now that I no longer have to cap tomestones every week, I will have more time to run roulettes on Paladin. So expedited leveling for him. He's already almost 84. So as soon as he's leveled, I'll do a video on that, and I'll keep these rolling out as quick as I can, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you liked the video. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good night.